I think on the in the booklet it identified Jennifer, but we also have the pleasure of also having Kaitlyn Bois, okay, and Tina Kukkonen, and they're from the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning, and they have a project that they wanted to share. So I'll leave that with you, and thanks very much.
Great, thank you very much, Harold. We're very thrilled to be here at the SPARC conference because as the symposium, the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning, we are going to share with you our most recent project, which is mapping arts and learning across Ontario. And so it's very important that we connect. We want to show the entire sector and what's going on throughout the entire province. And so connecting with artists from remote and rural communities is a really important part of that. We want to make sure that we're able to speak for the entire province. So as we started off the project mapping artists, artist educators, arts organizations that are offering arts education programming to the community, members of the community, but also we want to capture data from schools as well. What's the arts education happening in schools? What are the connections between the schools and the artists and organizations in their communities? Are there artists working in the schools? Where are the field trips happening, professional development, and what are some of the amazing projects taking place? Because we want to be able to learn about all of this great work that's happening across the province and then be able to share it. We want artists and arts organizations and schools to think about partnership opportunities, collaborations. We want people to be able to see what's happening in different parts of the province and share best practices so that you can take it back to the work that you're doing and learn from that and grow from that. And so most recently, we have now over 1,000 artist educators, which was the first kind of phase mapped on the map, and now we are moving on to schools while still continuing to gather data about artist educators and arts organizations. So we just recently, at our October conference, which happened in Ottawa, we recently launched the schools mapping portion. And so this video tells a little bit more about the mapping project and more specifically about the schools.
Collaborate. How can parents
all the way at the beginning?
How can an arts administrator in Ottawa discover a colleague in North Bay with whom to partner? How can an artist find a teacher with whom to collaborate? How can parents, students, or lifelong learners see all of the arts programs available to them in their own neighborhood? Our digital world allows for some general access, but online information is segmented, making it difficult to find connections outside of our circle of context and our immediate environment. The results of 4 major research studies conducted by the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning uncovered the need for a comprehensive map of the arts and learning sector in Canada. The collective voices of artists, educators, arts administrators, cultural leaders, policymakers, and other arts education practitioners have called for a central, comprehensive resource for information on the work being done and the people doing the work. We are delighted that the Ontario Trillium Foundation has shared this ambitious vision. In 2016, the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning received a 3-year Grow Grant from the Ontario Trillium Foundation to create the EduArts map and database. The map will become the central portal for arts-based education, revealing strengths and gaps, and helping ensure that all Ontarians have equitable access to high-quality arts learning opportunities. Data for the map is collected by compiling publicly available information on the internet into one database. Further details are gathered by phone, by email, and through self-reporting forms on our website. Data is also collected in person at our biennial conference and through a series of 15 Ontario EduArts networking hubs, presented in partnership with community arts organizations and associations. We are grateful to the Ontario Trillium Foundation for its support in mapping arts and learning across Ontario. We look forward to working with more partners to reveal the full scope of the sector throughout Canada. By connecting diverse arts and learning communities, we will shift mindsets about arts education and increase access to meaningful arts experiences for all Canadians, cultivating a more creative, innovative, and prosperous Canada.
Through that video, you saw some snippets of what the map looks like and some of the usability of it. And now we'll take you on a bit more of a tour of the map. Kaitlyn is our researcher and has done a great job so far populating the map and helping answer questions from people who are trying to get on the map. So she's going to take us on a tour and hopefully you'll know a bit more.
So this is what the map looks like as of right now. Obviously, because we're working with the Trillium Fund right now, Ontario is far more densely populated than the rest of the provinces, but we are obviously looking at expanding this very soon to go from coast to coast to coast. So just in terms of taking you through a bit of a walkthrough and the usability of the map, you'll notice that clusters allow you to zoom in to whatever area you want to check out really, really easily. And every pin with it has any kind of all the information that you might want on these organizations and individual artists, as well as now schools that are represented on here. We have profiles of everyone who's on the map, so you can click through and learn more about them. You can see, if we zoom out and check out some of the schools, it'll also show which community arts partners they have partnered with. Because our school mapping phase is still very much in its infancy, I can kind of hit and miss if I can find one that actually has a lot. Whether or not they have So we're going to look at one school in Windsor, and their community arts partners they have two, so it's not bad. But yeah, we're really hoping to show those connections that schools also have with community members. Not only we're hoping that the tool isn't used solely for schools. Obviously, we want community members to be able to use this as a tool to find out what's going on next door in neighboring communities, find programming for their kids, find programming for yourself. Hopefully, we can find arts educators who are really appealing to a large, to various age groups. And when you're searching for these things, we do have filters that you can search by. You can search by arts disciplines that you're specifically looking to participate in. You can search by price range, which communities are served by the organizations, obviously by city, by province, those search filters that are going to be most useful, I suppose. But what we're really looking through the hubs that Jennifer touched on briefly about what we do is that we're still building the map. So any features that you think could be added to be beneficial to you or any other user potentially, we want to hear about what you think would be beneficial. In terms of filters, maybe there's something that you think that's not so necessary. Maybe you don't need that one, or we need to rethink that one, or how it's laid out.
Yeah. So I understand the tool.
Yeah.
You're looking for organization that actually have a link with teaching art in particular. So you just don't want to have an artist or a gallery. You want to have, if there is a teaching component, then you're interested.
Ideally so.
Okay.
Ideally. Teaching can also just be a gallery that offers tours, like guided tours to classrooms or a group of seniors or a group of adults, or there's still like a sort of like educational component to that, but it's not necessarily educating in schools, although schools are obviously really important, especially to this, the second year of our mapping
I
project.
think that's why we take the term arts and learning rather than arts education map, because arts education tends to be associated more so with schools, like in the public eye, so arts and learning kind of leaves it broader in just offering a tour of gallery, or maybe an artist that does offer lessons on the side or something like that.
And what if something is periodical? Like I'm just funded recently a dance program that will happen only for a couple of shows. Do you want that, or is that too periodical and it's too much maintenance?
Well, you can, each organization or artist has the opportunity to have a featured project. And so you can put that as your project. We also have a calendar. You can add that onto your calendar. So you can have that if that's your main educational programming or something that you interact with. You can expand on that more in those sections and then kind of list it in general terms on your profile. Yeah. And Kaitlyn's going to show us. So this is a profile of an organization. So this one, they have public programs and also they work within schools as well. So you can kind of see the different.
They've partnered with Kill District School Board, Toronto District School Board. So they're definitely in the school boards that are educating at the school board level. They've got in-school programming that they're offering, and they have a featured project, which is one of the things that we're really trying to get a lot of folks who are represented on the map to show us what they're doing. And especially for those organizations and folks who are in the schools, we want to see the projects that are making those curriculum connections. And hopefully we can get a lot of people submitting their future projects that they're working on and the kind of art projects that they're doing in their communities and at the school level and at not the school level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this particular organization has summer camps and March break camps and so public offerings as well. So, and also individual artists can have a featured project as well as can schools. And so we are collecting those featured projects and putting them in a certain spot in our website. And then through our newsletters and our social media accounts, we're kind of spreading the word through those featured projects and whatnot.
Also, here's Aileen's profile.
This is an artist. So this particular artist mostly just does community. You can see down there in her featured project, she has a community drumming group. And so that is a drumming group, but it's also, they perform, but there's an educational aspect because it's open to community members and they come and they learn how to do it and then they perform. But generally it's I don't know if you call it traditionally an educational, there's a learning aspect to that.
So that, in this particular example, it's done outside of schools?
Yeah, she really doesn't do much in schools other than sometimes she visits and does in class workshops.
Because it says up above that, right? Qualified to do work in schools.
She's qualified, yeah. But mostly she's a community artist.
So are you interested in getting input from people like me? I don't directly work in schools, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of artists don't work in schools, and the first year we just were mapping arts and arts organizations, and we're really concerned about schools because there's so much community learning happening. And we're not just talking about children, we're talking about lifelong learning. Seniors and adults. Any kind of interaction with the arts, and which generally has a built-in learning aspect. So yeah, you don't have to necessarily have a school element to be on the map. But so that what we've been doing, a series of hubs that we've been doing, is to collect your input and to find out how the map is going to be most useful for you, people in the community, and how we can, because we're still building a map and it's still evolving with every group of input that we get. So now what we will do, I'll hand it over to Tina, but we're going to be basically facilitating a discussion to get your input.
Yeah, so my job in all of this is basically to facilitate these discussions, and I collect all of the input and ideas from all of our hubs, and I transcribe it, and I create these reports, and that all gets back to Kaitlyn and to Jennifer to develop the map.